decision triggers.
And can we go to 4 or 4:30?
I would think at 4 we should go into kind of a wrap-up, a Q&A or something.
Cool. I just wanted to know.
Yeah, so we'll start speeding things along.
Yeah.
So, again, it's about perception. So, given the nature of our business and the footprint of our operations, the question I asked you when we started talking about gifts and entertainment, about anything of substantial value, it wasn't sufficient for us because of the global marketplace that we're in and the challenging circumstances that we face. So in the end, we developed a worldwide gift and entertainment policy. It's been out for maybe 3 years. And we have a disclosure tool. So anything that's above a certain level needs to be disclosed in our, we have an intranet, and everyone has access to this tool, and they need to go in and disclose it. And what that helps us do is be transparent. So I was talking to Lissa a little bit about this, so let's not talk about Groff, let's talk about Walmart. Anything that's, any Walmart store anywhere in the world has Eaton electrical products in it. And if our electrical sales reps are giving and receiving, giving gifts to Walmart employees at all these different places, we want to know what the cumulative effect is. So that's why we have this disclosure tool, to see if we are unduly influencing business by having one customer and 300 salespeople giving gifts to this one customer unbeknownst to each other. So we have a disclosure tool. And anything above a certain level requires pre-approval. So we have very succinct guidelines about what are our expectations now. So the thing I wanted you to think about on this slide is, does transparency matter? Would you change your actions if you know it's going to be viewed by others? So this kind of goes back to the thing on integrity about doing what you do when no one's looking.
Rhonda, you know what I'm learning from this is a lot of this type of thing is never in a policies and procedures manual, never. And then so when you're confronted with something, then it's, you know, it's that gray area again.
Absolutely.
Well, didn't you know you're not supposed to take a $10 tip from, you know, Mrs. Jones?
Right.
And then, well, no, I didn't know.
Right.
I guess what I'm saying is that I really like the fact that it's in writing, and I would suggest to these students that they do so in the future.
The best thing you can do if you're managing a business is to set the expectations and clearly communicate what they are. And you know, if you have a written document to fall back on, that's very helpful. You know, that's why we have our employees, from admin level and above, 24,000 employees reaffirm their commitment to the Code of Ethics every year. We keep sending the message out there that these are your expectations. And we help to clarify through training about that $10 tip not being acceptable. But you know, that's the best thing you can do when you're running these businesses, is to make sure that your staff knows what is expected of them. So, because it goes back to accountability. So conflicts of interest. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because there's something I want to get to that I think is a little bit better later on. So what I will say with conflicts of interest is that when you're doing something like a tournament, this one I use the case of a mother-in-law of one of your employees wants to cater for a tournament. Be aware of the perceptions. Conflicts of interest is one of the most commonly discussed things in Eaton because conflicts are out there. And the best way to manage a conflict is if you think there might be a conflict of interest where you're going to get a personal gain from a business decision, is to disclose it immediately. Those conflicts can be managed. A lot of times people will say, oh, well, there was a conflict of interest. We'll say, no, they weren't. They were excluded from the decision-making process. There was no conflict if it can be appropriately managed. If you sit on it and you hide it, that's when it gets sticky, because it looks like you were hiding it on purpose. So I won't spend a lot of time on this. Let's see here. Okay. Another one just to think about. So you don't sell, you sell golf prize, but you make a higher margin from another grip manufacturer. And you're a teaching instructor, you know your employees, your students are going to want to have the same grips that you have. So what do you do when you're teaching? Do you use the grips that you get a higher profit margin off of? Or do you use the grips that you like the best? When you're doing an endorsement, how do you do it? So this is straight from the Code of Ethics of the Golf Course Teachers Association. Base endorsements, whether written, verbal, or through any medium strictly on satisfactory personal experience with the product, item, or service provided. So something to think about. Think as personal decisions. You might like this group well enough, you might like Golf Pride a little bit more, but profit margin's higher. Just, things to be aware of. Social media?
Yeah, really quick, just to touch on social media, because it's growing in terms of the ethical issues that are out there. So just be thoughtful about posting comments related to business on social media websites. It might be your own personal website, but you're still known as Golf Pro, or it could be on your club's website. I'm currently managing Golf Pride's Facebook, so learning a lot about that on a daily basis. Is it okay to openly make endorsements on social media, or to write negative comments about player or course in any kind of open forum or website? It's a tough one. And I think it's situational as well. Unfortunately, there's no magic answer. You just have to, know that everybody's going to hear it. There's no way, once you put it out there, you can't take it back. I mean, it's just going to keep going. If your golf course has a social media site, is it okay to delete negative posts about your course? I played the course today, greens are crappy or bumpy, don't go. Can you delete that? I had a guy post the other day on Golf Pride, I don't like the new tour wraps, they get slippery when they're wet. Yeah, go ahead.
What is your position on that? I mean, with a lot of the major companies, I noticed that on like certain companies that I follow on Facebook and stuff. There's some people that put some incredibly vulgar things on a post. And what do you guys do? If someone swore on a post that you would put, what would you do?
I've had one in 6,000 likes in the last 3 months that we've opened our Facebook page. I had one incredibly vulgar post and we removed it because it was offensive. I've had people post that they don't like things, and I respond to it, and I say thank you for your feedback. We'll continue to work on that. As long as it's not vulgar, we won't take it down because we appreciate the feedback. We want it. We don't want to discourage people from being honest. So that is our stance. But if they're going to put something negative about our product, that they're polite about it, that's an open forum, and we're inviting that by having the Facebook page. If we didn't want it, we shouldn't have the page. So that's our stance.
It means, though, that somebody has to keep up with the responses. If there's negative stuff out there and there's no response back from the company, that's not good.
Yeah.
And I would almost, I don't know, but I'm just, as popular as Facebook is, it's almost a full-time job just keeping up with responses, isn't it?
Yeah, I have a 24-hour limit to respond to any post. So I try to check it, morning and evening, and make sure to respond promptly. And I did have, when we first launched our Facebook page, we said for the first 1,000 likes, we'll give you a free 1-year subscription to either Golf World or Golf Digest. But then I had a whole bunch of people saying in less than 30 days, I haven't got my subscription, Golf Pride sucks. Well, you guys, I'll post it and I'll post it. I posted 100 times. Your subscriptions were entered in February. You will not receive your first one until March, which is the April issue, so you'll receive it mid-March. Please, don't get upset, So you just, literally, you just have to repost things and understand that they're not going to read through your whole page, so you just keep responding. But yeah, it's a really time-consuming thing. It's also being aware of your tone. Golf Pride, we're energetic, we're confident, we're not cocky when we talk about our product. There's certain ways in language and tone that you use, and you'll see that throughout our golf.
And you have the national Facebook or not?
Yeah, you guys can all go on and like Golf Pride, type in Golf Pride, no spaces, and it'll pop right up. We're doing different promotions right now, so we did have a contest to write in about your favorite Golf Pride grip, and you want to set of DDRs. We're doing 5 or more grips right now, and you get a free backpack. There's all kinds of different things, and we just posted on here. This is our first kind of dive into social media, and I'm also working with our tour reps, when he's in the trucks, to be able to take pictures of some of the stuff tour players are doing, kind of little insights. So it's neat. It's fun, but it's a lot of work.
So I was going to say, with a territory like Florida, there isn't enough time in the day, is there? For you or?
No. Well, and actually, I'm moving into promotions and communications manager. So part of my role in changing roles was taking this over and managing it from the start.
You're moving up to Pioneer, so you're not going to be the Florida